Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Yo, what is up, everybody? It is your girl, Kicks for Fresh, and I am back at it again with another episode of Pop the Culture. So if this is your first time coming to Pop the Culture, this is a weekly live every Monday, 7:30 CST, where we talk sneakers, fashion, and pop culture. So in July and in August, I am going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be highlighting some women of color that actually have really dope sneaker YouTube channels. So as you can see from obviously the description and things of that nature, I will be talking to Miss QDaQueen on today. Before we bring her in from the backstage, I'm going to wait for some people to come in because I know StreamYard can be like super delayed. But if you are in here, please make sure to post in the chat so I can welcome you into the stream. What is good, Paula Matt? What's good, sis? Thank you so much for coming through. I sincerely appreciate you for being here. Let's see. Also, as you come in this bad boy, make sure to hit that like button because it really helps out the channel. It helps out, get Pop the Culture out here. We got the Real with Rail. What is up, sis? Thanks for coming through. I got my hair all curly today, so it's hot. I gotta put a little headband on or something because it's hot. I'm in front of this little light trying to get this melanin popping. Let's see who else we got up in here today. Shout outs to y'all for being here. I know a couple of you all will just kind of come and go as you please, but I don't really want QDaQueen waiting too long. So for me, QDaQueen was a person that I was very, very excited to have on Pop the Culture, seeing as though she was one of the first female sneakerhead or sneaker YouTube or shootube, whatever channels on YouTube that I really just fell in love with how genuine she was, really just being true to herself and her collection. So I know that I have a lot of questions lined up to talk with her about, which I'm super excited about. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let QDaQueen come in from the backstage. What's good?
Hey. What is happening, girl?
What it do?
Man,
what it do, baby?
I'm just happy to be in your presence. I am not worthy of all of those kind words, but
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for being here. I really do want to start out with you telling the people a little bit about yourself, especially for the people who may not know you or your platforms on Instagram and YouTube.
For sure. Well, again, QDaQueen, fellow female shoetuber alongside Kicks for Fresh. My girl, she is Zeta, but we're gonna let that slide. Anyway.
You just couldn't wait. I was gonna wear blue and white for you, but I was like, let me
not. But yeah, so I'm actually out in Chicago, born and raised in Flint, Michigan, though. So Michigan native. I've been in Chicago for it's been 10 years since March. Wow. So I've been out here representing. Listen, I'm a community leader. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a full-time career woman. And I just happen to have a passion for sneakers. I've had it all my life. So, okay. I'm nobody special. I'm just like everybody else.
I feel you, sis. And shout out to Sneaker Vibes Only for being on the stream. Thank you for coming through. That really segues into my next question of how long have you been collecting sneakers, and what does that look like for you? Because for me, I used to go through these phases where I would collect, and then I would purge. So I don't know if looking back, I don't know if it was about personal style or the sneakers really just got to a point where I knew I wasn't going to wear them anymore. I have changed shoe sizes in the last 10, 15 years. So some stuff that I can't even fit. Why am I holding on to it?
Absolutely.
So just talk to me a little bit about when you started collecting and what that process looks like for you.
Well, I don't really subscribe to the term collecting per se. Just because I mean, I would say when I started being able to buy my own sneakers, which was at the age of 14 when I got my first job. So that would be 20 years ago.
Nice. Do you remember like that first shoe for you?
It was actually a shell toe. For those who are technical, it's an Adidas Superstar, but it was a mid cut with a strap. So they were white, pretty much all white base, but they had a navy blue stripes and a navy blue outsole. So
that's what's up. Yeah, I love my shell toes. I'll tell you that much. My shell toes and my Samoas are the two favorite Adidas, and I love them.
Yeah, I used to be a big Adidas head for sure. I just started switching more over to Nike than Adidas just because, I feel like the innovation started to get a bit tired. And one thing about Nike is, to me, they're the most innovative. And they continue to innovate, but they also have a portfolio that they can continue to reach back and, re-release a lot of the classic shit. So, yeah, that's been a difference for me with kind of, I wouldn't call it switching brands, but I'm more predominantly Nike than Adidas than what I've ever been. Like there was a point in my time where I could wear a different Adidas track jacket every day of the week. Nice. That's how Adidas I was.
Right. Yeah. I kind of would have to agree with you on that. That's funny that you say that because I don't know very many people that will actually say that or have that same sort of outlook. But, growing up, one, Adidas were a lot more easier to obtain. They had the style, like everybody wanted the shell toe, especially with rap and Run DMC and things like that. And like you said, the track jackets. So it was fresh. It was like something that you just never seen before. And then over time, it was like, okay, what else is they gonna hit us with? And they really wasn't hitting us like we wanted to be hit as it pertains to the Nike brand. So I kind of switched over as well, especially back in the day when you could go get a Nike Dunk right off the shelf. You know what I'm saying? $49.99, 2 for $99,
Woo,
and
so change.
Hello. Yeah. So I just feel like I really resonate what you say about that because it makes me sad because I really was an Adidas fan. And not saying that I don't still buy Adidas, but Nike has really crept up, and people like Tinker Hatfield and other really great designers have created these models that have stood the test of time where they can reach back from 30 years ago and that sneakers app gone on sale.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, and Sneaker Vibes only said them back to school shoes. Yes, ma'am. White and black.
Heck yeah, man. That was that good, value dollar brand type stuff, man. You could grab a couple of pairs of Reebok Classics, a couple of pairs of Adidas Superstars for the low.
What they do, cuzzo?
And with me being 14 at the time, you know what I'm saying? Every 2 weeks, I was only getting like $180. So Jordans were not an option, especially because I spent my money on sneakers, 1, Taco Bell, 2,
correct,
and video games, 3. So I only got $180. How I ain't getting no Jordans,
right? That's true. Girl, because I was saying, don't let it be hot Cheetos and a Tropicana, and that's lunch.
Straight up.
Okay. What's up, Ashley? Yeah, that's crazy though. And I'm also thinking I went into Adidas yesterday and I actually bought, the only thing I bought was a pair of socks and some sandals. Like there was nothing in that store that I wanted. And I will go to Nike and find some and dust it off the hash wall and be like, I'm gonna go ahead and hit these, 200s or, whatever the model is and get my little $19.99, are you out of your mind? And I will wear them. Hello.
Yep. And I had the little lick for a second there because when I was in undergrad, there was a period of time when I had 2 jobs when I was studying undergrad, and it was one. I was doing housekeeping on campus. So yeah, I was cleaning toilets. I've been out here now grinding. Don't let the sweet smile fool you, baby.
Right.
But I also had a job at the Adidas factory, the outlet. Okay. So that was a dream because at that time I was in love with Adidas. At that time, Missy was popping off with just that whole Adidas line. So Adidas was still exciting for me because being a fan of her and everything that they were doing with her, hey, that was all over that. And I was rapping at the time too, so I'm like, oh shit,
Hey,
gotta get my hook up.
right.
I used to be on stage with my fresh Adidas. Like I have lyrics where I'm talking about like fresh sneakers.
That's what's up.
Like fresh Adidas, don't believe, check the tags. What? Come
Hey, I got to pay for that. I got to pay for that.
Come on, I was out here.
So let me ask you a question. Because I'm not sure, and I just want to see if you know this. So was Missy Elliott considered the first Black woman to have that collaboration with Adidas, or were there any other people before her? Because to me, that's the only person I remember.
Yeah,
but maybe because that she was the first.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that she was the first to have an official line. Like I have 2 pairs of her Adidas back here.
That's what's up, man.
Like
yeah, I love Missy Elliott.
I still got them. Still got them. And one thing about Adidas classic models, like they stand the test of time. They don't get wore out.
Yeah.
Like both of those pairs, well, one of them I never wore because I just vowed to never wear them. But both pairs look like I bought them yesterday. That's just how well they've kept up over the years. The leather is impeccable.
Sheesh.
Like the sole is still like sturdy. Like everything about it is straight up. Bought it yesterday. So
that's one thing I do feel like Adidas hasn't skimped on is the quality, and I can't say the same for Nike. Just generally speaking, because I guess with supply and demand, you got more and more sneakers coming out, and your quality goes down. But I feel like brands like Adidas or even New Balance or Puma, like they never skimped on quality.
Yeah,
and I will get a straight Nike and be like, "Is this a UA?" Like, wait a minute.
And now you understand, it gives you that understanding of why they have to keep retro and stuff, because they never make it with the best quality. Like it just never was made with good quality. So it just falls apart, whether you wear it or not, it just falls apart. And that's jacked up when you have a shoe that's like 15 years old that you covet, but you can barely hold it in your hand because it crumbles every single time you touch it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. And I think that's another reason why I'm always just constantly refreshing things in and out of my collection. I've never, kind of like you said, you don't consider yourself like a collector. It's just like I don't really hold on to my shoes. I tell people that and they be gasping, and I'm like, first of all, I have a big family, so if anytime I can give away a sneaker that I know for a fact I am not wearing anymore, I'm gonna give it away. Like I'm just gonna give it away. In May, I sold like 5 pair of shoes for like $20 and $40, just so that my family, could have some, but they didn't necessarily have to break the bank. So, I got cousins that's like, oh wow, I got a little Jordan or whatever. I got a little $40 holla. I got my wares out of it. It is what it is,
I had a habit of giving away shoes. I would just take shoes to the local shelter. If depending on, how valuable the shoe was, sometimes I would sell it, but for the most part, I would give them away. I've just gotten to a point now in my collection where it's hard for me to do that now. I can't. I've cleaned it out and streamlined it so well at this point. Yeah. Like my collection is, when I say my collection is curated, I mean my collection is curated. So now it's so streamlined where it's hard for me to say, okay, I'm gonna take these 5 and take these down to the shelter. Or I'm gonna take these 10 and I'm gonna sell these. Like that's where I'm at with it now.
That's what's up. And I do feel like nowadays, like it's so hard for you to get the sneaker that you don't want to give it away because it like you went through hell and high water to actually secure it. And so I am holding on to a lot of my shoes because I'm like, well, damn, if I'm going to be up for 24 hours on a live stream, you know what I'm saying, waiting for a shoe, it's not leaving the collection. It's not leaving the collection.
Absolutely. Yeah. But some folks are hoarders, let's just be honest now. It is what it is. I'm sure some of y'all in the chat are hoarders. Y'all got 158 pairs of just stuff that y'all could stand to clean up a little bit.
Yeah. But I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about your actual YouTube channel. So I believe on Friday or whatever last week, you had like a flashback Friday, 5 years since you had started your YouTube channel. And so I wanted to talk with you about that journey, what inspired you, who or what inspired you to start the channel, and really kind of like what is keeping you motivated. Because I know you do a lot of lives and stuff with Rep Milwaukee and things of that nature, but you still have your own channel that you're constantly, uploading videos on.
For sure. So yeah, 5 years ago, July of 2016, I made that decision to go ahead and start my channel. And the reason being was because I didn't see any women, first off, that looked like me, but also that were passionately talking about shoes. We've always had that, women that are buying it to be cute, the little cute prints and post it on Instagram. And then we had also women who bought it because it's the flavor of the week. It's that hot thing right now.
Right.
So she buying it for that. So there were no females. I can honestly and stand my ground on this. There were no females that were talking that talk, preaching, spitting about sneakers for real. And that to me is what was needed, and that's what I brought to the forefront. And my hope was that would help to kind of capture the attention of other females that really truly love sneakers for real as well, right? And not felt like it had to be a fashion show. And that's no shade, no disrespect. Everybody has their lane and they do what they do. I appreciate that. I think multiple dimensions is great. But when it comes down to it and we talking that talk,
right, it's a whole nother level to it. And I think that, for some people like myself, I guess I'll speak for myself. Sneakers was always like a confidence booster for me because I've always been plus size. I lived in a very rural area where there wasn't a lot of or any African Americans. So it just kind of gave me, I felt like what I needed to feel a little bit more confident in my walk and really like how I like to dress. I've always been like a tomboy, for example. So, I felt like even though back then I wasn't really understanding all of the mechanics of being a sneakerhead and the history just based on the area that I lived in, all I knew was that my dad would have every Jordan that would come out and he would literally go and he would hoop in them. And I would just watch people, running down the court like, okay, I want them. And then I'm like, Dad, your friend George, he had on those sneakers. He'd be like, girl, you ain't getting them sneakers. And I'd be so angry because I really just fell in love with them. And I knew that like when I wore them, it was not necessarily a statement piece, but something that I felt like, okay, with me wearing these, I feel like not invincible, but how like you could just block out the world. For sure. Because you got something that you really wanted that kind of boosts your confidence and things like that. So
absolutely. And I mean that's a common story, I think, amongst most of us, at least those that look like us rather. I can only speak for people that look like us just because I mean I look like us. So right. Hello. Whereas with how you kind of coveted what you saw from your dad, for kids like myself, born and raised in Flint, Michigan, in areas where people aren't necessarily affluent, but if you had a pair of Jordans or something that was fresh and something that was considered a status symbol, all is right with the world. At least for that moment, you know what I'm saying? Even if you knew you had to go back home to no lights, right. You know what I'm saying? Like
no water, no running, no hot water,
But nobody would know because when you walk outside, you drip, right? From head to toe. It was just all about just being fresh. And that's just a part of the reality from that type of surrounding. But going back into the coveted part, I mean, a lot of those things I couldn't get as well. So being able to, afford those things now, I mean, it's definitely valued much higher to me than if I did have it then. I feel like some folks that did have it then don't value it the same as maybe us. Right. Because for them, this is like the 6th time they've bought the same shoe. Like, how can you value a shoe that you bought for the 6th time at this point? Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, so in terms of the channel, that was like That was my biggest thing. I wanted to represent us in a passionate, true, genuine way. And it not be anything to do with, even though people address my looks, I didn't want it to have anything to do with that. And so that's why I try to steer away from that as much as I can. It's very tough.
Yeah, right.
It's very tough because people are just visual beings, and this is a male dominant culture.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was me. I started it with my cell phone and a GoPro.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
That's why I tell people, like, if you want to start a channel, like, just start your channel. You know, you don't have to wait to get the cameras and all of that. I'm to the point now I have 2 cameras, right? You see the mic, I just got the mic, right? So these are things that this happened along with time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't always afford the camera at the moment. Like when I started my channel, at the time, being completely honest and transparent with you, I was living with my now ex. Okay. And when I say living, I don't mean we just happen to be living together. I mean, I had moved in with him.
Yeah.
So that space with my first videos was his space. So I didn't have a setup.
Right.
I didn't have a setup.
Yeah.
But I introduced the world to myself with just a little bit that I had.
Right.
And it's been on ever since. So
that's what's up. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What's up, shoes up, sleeves down in the building. But yeah, you know, kind of like what you said, you know, if people go back and look at my videos, like I was using an iPhone 8 Plus. I was doing all the editing on my iPhone. I didn't have a little fancy background. And, you know, like you said, just over time, you know, you make those adjustments, you know, people are visual. So, you know, you just kind of, sometimes I see people saying, oh, like, you know, I see a glare, and that just makes me want to work harder, you know, at bringing a product that I think that people would like. It kind of almost becomes more than just you sharing your sneakers, which is the hard part.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I honestly just want to go without having to slick my hair back and put on eyebrows just to show the shoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I literally got to go put some chapstick and, you know, get all dyed up.
But that's the part that people don't understand, why this is hard for women to do YouTube, because we actually have to get ready to get in front of the camera. Like, y'all don't understand. Even if we get in front of the camera super casual, like I'm in front of the camera as casual as I could possibly look right now.
Right.
But that still took some work because I had to slick these edges down. I did put a little bit of rouge on my lip, you know, just to at least give y'all a little, you know, like I ain't just roll out of a nap, you know.
Right. I just like the dudes can come nappy headed and t-shirt from the 4th video. 4 videos in, y'all got the same t-shirt on.
Right.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had a guy on my channel posted on my channel. All I had to do was laugh, but he was like, one, you got your eyeglasses are glare. I can't see your eyes. First of all, you don't even need to see my eyes. You look at the shoe, okay? You don't even need to see all that.
Oh, trust me. I didn't heard it all. People done talked about how shiny my face is for years. But they're not even smart enough to understand that my face is shiny because I take care of my skin.
Correct.
Like, what are you talking about? My face is shiny.
I need a skin regimen.
Because I mean, I got a whole skin regimen, dude. Like, this is from moisturizing. Like,
right, that's dry and chapped up.
Yeah, you know, it takes actual effort for people to get in front of the camera and it not just be your feet.
Right.
That's the thing. Like Instagram, you can get away with it, you know, just post your little on foot, you know, post your little pickup with your shoe in your hand.
Hello.
But when it's time to get in front of this camera, shit get real. Okay.
Right. But look, I just need some of these people out here, no shade. Somebody need to be sweeping their flow before they be doing their own feats. Because you'd be like, wait a minute. How is it that you can do these own feats in every single video that same length? It's catching the wind. It's like a little... Let me stop before I get banned.
No,
what's up?
Seriously.
What's up, Toxic TJ? What's good? What's good, Princess?
TJ, what's up, little sis? Yo, listen. Some people do not take that into account, man, and it's shameful. I think you see it a lot on Instagram. People be in the mirror and he be all type of shit in the background. Like, dude,
well,
you
no.
at least,
First of all, the mirror got toothpaste flicks on.
right? I'm like, dude, you got a whole week's worth of restaurant wrappers and everything on the floor, dog. Like, is this where you live? Your bed, first off, your bed don't have a baseboard. Like, what do we?
But
your bed on the floor, dog.
Approved. I'm like, I ain't giving you no Fresh Fit approved.
Right,
Please,
you got off whites, but don't even got box springs. What we doing?
Why are you like this? See, this why we can't be on this here live, because
you know, come on now,
the people what they wanted us to give.
Folks ain't listen. It just is what it is.
But yet I got my hair in a ponytail, and y'all want to say something about my hair. Oh, okay.
All right.
Anyway.
Yeah. You know, we had a moment.
Yes, we did. He said
Dante talking about leave my floor alone. Dude, I'm gonna need you to get it together.
I said, "Ooh, I can't even watch it." But anyway, but I swear, ain't nobody's videos crisper than TJ. I'm trying to figure out. Well, I know what she used, because she said she used a phone, and I'd be like, "Damn, I got this whole fancy camera, and I don't even know how to work the joint."
No, TJ has invested in making sure she understands how to use as little as possible to make the best video possible. And I don't think enough people really take that into account. It's not that you need cameras. Obviously you don't need cameras. I mean, there are like large YouTubers that still use their phones.
Yeah, that's true.
And for me, I mean, I invested in the cameras for a couple of reasons. First off, I don't want all of my footage on my phone.
Yeah.
But also because I actually travel to a lot of different events and such. And so I would rather have all of that on separate devices. Yeah. Like I have, one of my cameras is for vlogging. And then another one of my cameras is for my set videos. It's a camera that I prefer not to travel with much.
Right.
If I'm doing something more produced, I'll take it. Even if that means I'm outside of this room, I'll still take that camera because it gives me what I need for that type of video.
Right.
But I've been very intentional with why I chose to buy the particular cameras I have and for what, and how I use them. So
that's what's up.
Yeah.
So speaking of cameras, because I know that you did a kind of like a season 2 of what we call Our History Is Now.
Yeah.
So you highlighted a couple of Black-owned companies, and you also had another episode with just some Black women, and had a little talk like that. So you had a Fresh Culture, you had Cuzzo. So what kind of sparked that idea, and what was that experience? Being able to work with people such as them that have these brands.
I think it just came from my background of just constantly being an advocate for supporting Black businesses. And so I wanted to figure out what was a way where I could pay homage in the style of sneaker fashion culture, right? How could I include that? And so I decided to just go with what I had been doing in my normal videos, where I would just announce like, hey, I got this piece from da-da-da-da-da, and it happens to be Black owned. So I'm like, wouldn't it be dope if I just talk to the people who own brands?
Right.
And so that's kind of how it came about. The last episode of this second season with the all-female panel, that was something that kind of came off the cuff. That wasn't originally planned when I did it. But because of COVID, like I had to do my best. Like I had to combine certain things. I couldn't do it as frequently as what I wanted to do in the month. I had to spread certain things out. It was really tough in the midst of a pandemic. Like last year, the entire production, I did the whole thing myself, and I did them all as a pop-up in different locations. So if you saw season 1, I did every single episode in a different location, all produced by myself.
Wow, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So with the second season, understanding that I want to try to obviously make it safe and do it again, because the first season I felt it was pretty good engagement. I was able to get a production studio And so that allowed me to what I felt like to do it in a safe way. And still be able to get mostly what I wanted. I feel like it still didn't, even with that, I feel like I still didn't get that same energy from last year because it was just one place.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really shine a light on the actual merchandise the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
But the conversations in
Yeah.
season 2 was impeccable. Like
I agree.
season 1 can't touch season 2's conversations, but the production of season 1 was the shit.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Like, so if I can get both, like with the production and the conversation,
You out of there.
Man, I'm out of there.
You out of there. But see, look, I think that regardless of, we're our biggest critics, right? You know, so we can make a video that we absolutely hate, and everybody's like, wow, this video is helpful. This video gave me this information that I needed. This video, this and that. And yet we're sitting here like, well, my lighting wasn't good, or, you know, this and that. So, you know, what I took from the season is really kind of what you said, having those conversations, you know, showcasing these different brands, talking to, you know, bringing representation to these brands in a way that a lot of, I guess, some of the majority populations do not do.
For sure.
So I think that if nothing else, that was really what the goal was from my perception, is like, wow, she is highlighting some really dope brands. They're having some really amazing conversations. And I'm leaving from that conversation knowing one more Black brand that I didn't know before. Right?
Absolutely. Yep. And I'm very intentional. I'm very intentional with who I ask to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't just reach out to like 20 people and then whoever bites is who I talk to.
Yeah.
Like sense. I actually go to that person specifically because that's somebody that I truly want to talk to, or I've truly supported forever long, and so on and so forth, because that to me makes for a more organic conversation.
Yeah.
Because I don't just have you in front of me or beside me and we're talking just because you're a Black brand.
Right.
Yeah. There's some connection that has been established already. So
yeah, that's what's up. I appreciate that. But what is up, Jordan? Thanks for coming through the live, sis. I know you've been wanting to come through, so I hope you had a great time while you were here. My Kick's sick. He is a member of the Kick Squad. Go down in the description section and follow him.
Kick Squad. What up?
All your info. So before we get into the next question, obviously this is a sneaker channel and we got to talk about some of the past releases. I'm going to just breeze over this Yeezy Day fail because this was some bullshit. Bullshit.
You on your own with this conversation, so continue.
Yes. I know, and we're gonna talk about why QDaQueen ain't fellowshipping with me on this. But at the end of the day, y'all, out of everybody that's in this chat, who hit on a Yeezy today? Because I'll wait. Ain't none of y'all here. I ain't even gotta wait that long because I know y'all didn't hit on none. I'm like so confused, y'all. I thought
Yeezys was easier to get now.
Stop, man. Stop. Because you know what? But see, the thing is, I did think that they were. For the ones that I wanted to go for, I got. So, you know, I got Cinders, I got not Scions, Carbons. I have Zebras. I'm a 350 person. Strictly comfort, strictly boost. So I'm all about kind of boost and all that because I have a couple of NMDs. I have a pair of like Pharrell NMDs, things like that. So I'm all about the comfort. But when I tell you, oh, he said I'm 0 out of 152.
Hilarious. Well, first off, what 152 pairs of what were you trying to find?
Oh my God. Well, when you think about all the full size runs and all the new ones and all the old ones, she said none of them are.
This some rich shit right here, boy. So you mean to tell me if you had hit on 152 that you was gonna have 152?
No, they was going out the door. They was going out the door.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Hello. What card is you using?
Right. I'm like, oh, wait. You might get flagged on that.
Yeah. But the real conversation that I wanted to bring up, not was for the fact that we kind of the Yeezys and all that. But it really kind of begs this whole topic of like botting, because I truly believe that what happened here was like bots, because you go looking on Twitter and all these people bragging because they hit 500, zebras. And I'm like, see, that's the difference between people who love sneakers for a variety of whatever different reason. Maybe it's comfort, maybe it's style, maybe it's, you really do enjoy Yeezy and his brand. There's brand loyalty.
Yeah.
If I can't get my hands on it, I tapped out. By noon, I was like, fuck it. I put my phone on do not disturb. I don't want to hear about no Twitter, no soul links. Don't put me in no group chat talking about no shoes. I'm done.
For sure.
Because that's not what it's all about for me. It's like, okay, let me get the tail lights, or let me get, which is 350. And then also I always wanted the 700 Wave Runner, which is like the OG of the 700 model. So I'm like, okay, those really are what I want. But once I like didn't hit on that, I'm like, I
just want everybody in the chat to know I have no clue what models those are. Like, I don't know what the hell she's talking about right now.
Listen.
She may as well be speaking to me in Mandarin. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. But going back to the bot situation, it's 1000% sure that it's a ton of bots out there. People have invested. People have invested in bots. It's really taking up and clogging up the space. But then there's another layer to it that we're still having the effects of 2020. So we got a lot of folks that has hopped into liking sneakers because they're bored.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they just happen to have some extra money, right?
Stimulus.
Exactly. And they buying up shoes. So it's bots, and then just people just casually in this thing pretty heavy right now. So the space is clogged up, and it's nasty. And the reason why I feel like it's those two combinations of things is because I think I mentioned it in a comment on TJ's page today or on Instagram. I'm like, bring 2019 back, because in 2019 on up, we were still eating. Like, I could be able to go on sneakers and at least hit on something.
Correct.
Now it's like I expect to get nothing.
I'm like, why?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's to the point now where it's just like, why are we even trying? Why are we even trying? But it's so clogged up right now. I'm hoping it'll clear out maybe in the next year or so, when folks kind of fall back and realize they out of their lane. Because understand, this sneaker thing is not cheap.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to stay in the game, like,
and it's not a phase either,
right?
It's not quite. It wouldn't be categorized as a phase. But yeah, I agree with you. 2019, I was able to. I mean, hell, I was able to walk into a Foot Locker half the time, and they might not have my size all the time, but they'll have a little something. Or if I'm like, for example, when the Puma Future Riders, I was able to be like, let me just wait, because I know I could get that shoe when I'm ready to get the shoe.
Absolutely.
But see, now you can't even do that with nothing. I mean, they are reselling and people are grabbing. I think Air Force Ones, you can't really put that in the category. It's always been that shoe that, regardless if you're a sneakerhead or not, like, you getting them. Yeah. But you can't even get nothing. Like, they're reselling that. And I'm just let me
tell y'all a little something. For anybody that wasn't like heavy into it during the years of, I would say, 2017 and 2019. Those was the years you could cook on pretty much anything. Before the Flex app got heavy.
Definitely before the Flex app.
I mean, all you had to do was just buy a couple socks here and there. Get your little head start, check in at Foot Locker or Foot Action, whatever the case. You could get, especially if you're in a big market in Chicago, I never lost.
Ooh.
Like LeVar Ball, never lost. I was cooking.
Yes.
But Flex app happened, so they want you to spend an arm and a leg and your soul just to get your points that you can't get back once you spend them.
Correct.
And then we had the challenge of 2020. But anybody, if y'all remember them years between, I would even go back to 2016. I would say between 2016 and 2019 were years when you could actually have hope that you could get something. It was way easier to get junk. I remember they call it tax day 12s. They really the master 12s.
Yeah.
That was the last shoe for a while that people camped out for.
Oh yeah, Shorty 94. I think it's Shorty C94 on Instagram. He was talking about that the other day.
Yep, that was the last shoe for a long time that people camped out for. Before then was the bread ones. But the tax day 12s, again, tax day 12s, for those who don't know, are the master 12s. They dropped in February of 2016. Everybody was lined up. I was actually in New York at the time when them things dropped. So I'm in Times Square, and every single sneaker store is just lined up with people all day long. All day long. That was that last shoe. After that, that's when every shoe started getting mass produced. And people would like not buy. Like think about the He Got Game 13s. That shoe was sitting on shelves for at least 2 weeks. That's a classic. The He Got Game 13s were sitting. The Bread 13s were sitting.
I wish I would have got them. Crazy.
Dog, the disrespect
I know, right?
During the years, listen, the disrespect during the years between 2016 and 2019. I am trying to tell y'all, if y'all was aggressive in this shit, you saw it with your own 2 eyes. Now you can't even get a damn pair of Air Max trainers.
Hello?
For retail. And outright. Like you got to call a friend to call a friend to get a damn Air Max 95. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
right. Girl. Yes. And Jordan said, I didn't even have to use head starts. It was none but W's. Real people were getting their shoes. Do you remember that era of reselling?
Top 3 1. Y'all remember the top 3 ones? Top 3 ones. Nobody was buying. Like, folks could secure. Folks could secure like 2 and 3 pairs of top 3 ones. That shoe now you got to pay a top dollar for. But when it dropped, dude, you were cooking. True Blue 3s. True Blue 3s.
Now that's everybody grill.
My guy, like True Blue 3s were sitting. True Blue 3s were in the fucking outlet.
I'm crying.
Like, if y'all were there, y'all saw the shit with your own 2 eyes.
Nah, it's a grill. I'm telling you. Nah, it's a grill. A whole grill. That's crazy. That shit is crazy. But so let's move on and talk about another sneaker while we talking about stuff that used to sit.
Yeah. Now,
this is obviously a collab. So the SB Para Dunk, which was, I think, abstract art was what they were calling it.
Yeah. Yep.
That was a dope shoe. Now I know they've done some other sneakers in the past, but that to me, out of all the other ones, that was a dope shoe. But really what I wanted to talk about, since I know nobody got the shoe once again, is this whole idea of it being so hard to secure dunks.
Yeah.
Now, again, we talked about this a little bit backstage of like back in the day, really when you didn't even know what a dunk was, you was wearing a dunk because it was so easy for you to cop, especially if it wasn't like a collab. I felt like once they started hitting the collabs, that's when it kind of shot up, especially the SBs. Yeah. But, growing up, that was a shoe that I'm thinking back like, damn, I had all dunks and I didn't even realize it until now, and we talked about this earlier too, of like Nike has evolved so much they could reach back.
Yep. Portfolio is deep.
And it's heightened way more than it was when it originally came out.
Straight up.
What's up, IBA?
Yeah. Dunks are unique because they've had waves, and it's literally like what you mentioned, being able to reach back. But the waves these days have just come from, the wave starts when you just see a celebrity popping off that happens to wear that silhouette. Like Travis Scott has revived dunks in a way that I personally ain't seen.
Me either.
I think he has helped ignite that. I think was what's the Jenner girl?
Kylie.
With the lips.
Kylie.
Yeah, like it's the celebrities now that are really causing people to really fall crazy over certain silhouettes. Yeah. Dunks were not popping in the inner city. Like nobody was in the hood trying to buy dunks.
Nope.
Like that was for the skateboarders. Like that was that thing. That was all about. That's what they were all about. We wasn't checking for that.
Right.
But because eventually it did become a wave, you know, we got into it. So that's not even a natural like to shoe for us.
Right.
But yeah, definitely I feel like that's one of those shoes that's in waves. I'm still not a huge dunk person. I'm very particular, but like I got a pair right there.
We ain't gonna talk about that pair.
Yeah, the Michigan one's right there.
That's a good pair.
I got that. I got a couple other pairs, but I don't really make it my business to even go after a bunch of dunks. And it's different ones, dunks and dunk SBs. I have both. A lot of folks don't know that there's a difference between dunk highs and SB dunks. So that's a conversation within itself as well.
Yeah.
But we don't have to go into that. But I did like the pairs. I like the pairs. They was cool. Dope. Yeah.
And I guess no one in the comment section got them because ain't nobody said nothing about.
Yeah, no, ain't nobody. I tried on them, and I really don't try for nothing no more. So I tried. I knew what the result was gonna be, especially now that they got the nerve to do drawings now. That's jacked up.
Those draws will dag me in the heart every single time.
I mean, it's like it gets worse every time. First, you think you can do like just a regular release. They never really warn you sometimes that it's gonna be a draw until like the day before. You'd be like, "Oh shit, it's gonna be a draw."
Man, listen.
You be thinking you gonna have your computer ready, your tablet ready, and your phone ready, but no, it's a draw.
Shit.
Back
and
in
half
the day,
the time you get banned doing all three now. Fuck around and get banned if you want to.
Dude, back in the day, we used to have like multiple devices just ready, trying to hit on our sides on different devices, hoping it'll say got them. Like I remember when the first 10 of them off-whites dropped. Oh my god, talk about turmoil.
I don't even go for off-whites no more. I'm over it.
I've been over that.
I'm over it.
I've been over that. Okay,
so E said, "Can we get some bars?"
No, I don't see y'all putting no
collection plates together.
Yeah, y'all ain't putting no super chats in there for kicks. Like, come on.
What's up, Beer Jedi? He said, "Hit that like button for all of y'all that are up in the building. I am kicking it with QDaQueen today on Pop the Culture, and we is talking about how we can't secure no shoes. So if you with us, go ahead and hit us with a I'm with you, sis, because ain't nobody able to hit on no shoes."
Yeah, I ain't even mad because I already knew how it was gonna go, and I know the remainder of this year is just gonna remain the same. So
yeah,
I'm hoping for a better 2022.
Man, but
for now I give it
a long way to go. Pollins, fours. We got hell, we got the cool grays. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, the cool grays. Some pictures looking a little sketchy. So
I am not a fan of cool gray, and I say this every single week on my channel. If I happen to get a pair, I happen to get a pair, but I am not going to lose sleep over no cool gray for it because that gray, it to me just don't hit like I would expect for it to hit. And then they get dirty, and then the sole, like the little icy bottom, it just don't. It's not my favorite 11.
I mean, cool gray is cool. There's certain silhouettes where cool gray is straight for me. The cool gray 11 is not my favorite cool gray type silhouette. So I mean, I may get it just to have it because gray is pretty practical. I like practical colors, but
correct.
I ain't just sitting on a bunch of gray shoes back here. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like I got a bunch of gray shoes just sitting back here, like So, but them pictures look a little dusty in my opinion. So I'm hoping for some better official images to make me feel like okay, I wouldn't mind spending my $220 to grab these 11s. So
that's crazy. Yeah. So IBA, why are you coming here asking this question? Why? Why did anybody hit on Yeezys? First of all, no, we didn't. Second of all, don't be asking those questions because I'm mad. I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad. He said, these non-dressing cats should be able to pull off a little fit with them. Gray is, yeah, a whole
Right.
a Nike Tech, all gray with a dusty floor. And there you go.
Exactly.
And
Easy.
no headboard. No headboard on the bed.
No headboard.
No
and
sheet.
Eating out of styrofoam plates.
No sheet.
Yo, nigga,
money,
would you wash
money.
the dishes? You
Like
can't
that.
wash the dishes if you don't use a real plate like an adult. Nigga, I hate when I see styrofoam and paper plates. Nigga, do you have dishes at your house? How you get all the Yeezys? What model did you say? What model was it? 700?
Look, she said, well,
How you get all the Yeezy 700s, but you ain't got no damn plates in your cabinet now.
Come
That's
on, when they really need us, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that.
I mean, I be seeing some ladies with paper plates on their little socials. So
those be the ones that got that little Bugs Life shape.
You say,
you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? They got that little Bugs Life shape,
right?
What's up, Hop Dog? Thanks for coming through. Thanks,
Hop Dog, Beard, Iba. What's going on?
What's good? All right, so before we get into this next question, y'all, I will not tolerate no LeBron slander on this live. You could say a little something, but what we're not gonna do is disrespect QDaQueen, because I know sis is heavy in LeBrons. So now that I got that little PSA out there, just make sure you don't get banned and blocked, because I will be giving out some wrenches if it get to acting crazy up in here. But now let's get into the question.
Wrench gang.
So, hello. So one thing I noticed very, very early on when I started watching your channel is how big of a LeBron, I would say, supporter. Let's just say that. Supporter.
Yes.
You are.
Yes.
And you had a very impressive LeBron collection. To this day, I still watch, obviously your videos. So tell us a little bit about your love for him as either an athlete and or the brand, of LeBron, or maybe all in between. I want to kind of hear this story of QDaQueen x LeBron.
Well, let's just say I earned my right to covet LeBron's the way that I do, and to be such a super fan of LeBron, the athlete, the way that I do. You could call it, if you can't beat him, join him. But the way I watched this 18-year-old kid whoop the ass of my Detroit Pistons back in 03 when he came into the league, I earned my right, okay?
That's what's up.
To be a LeBron fan. So it started off with basketball. I didn't believe it, just like everybody else. Yeah. Oh, King James. Oh, who does kid think he is? Spreading a little powder in the pregame and all of that. I was one of them too. But boy, when you get into that Palace of Arbor Hills and you watch this dude work and he just make your hair fall out, and you like, oh shit. He that new wave, and he ain't had nobody on his team, and he still whooped my Bad Boys 2.0 ass to lead the Cavaliers to the damn NBA Finals in 2007 with nobody but him.
Nobody. And then they treated him like a dog when he decided to.
Dog. And then when he took his talent to South Beach, that's a whole different story. But I say that to say, he made me a believer. I saw this man live when he was a teenager, or young man rather at this point. He was in his early 20s at that time. But yeah, I saw him live, and ever since then, man, I've been following his career, been a big fan, and it also helped for me that he was super involved in the community off court, family man, just a great person, everything that Michael Jordan was not.
Girl.
I mean,
let me hand out these wrenches. Let me go ahead and hand out the wrench.
But just everything he stood for, and then them years in Miami, like I ain't never seen nobody play that well in my life, because I'm a 90s kid. So even though I did see Michael Jordan play, I didn't absorb it the same way perhaps an adult would have in the 90s, right? Yeah. So LeBron was my Michael Jordan. Right. Yep. So to see him be able to lead teams to the finals, every single location he's at, and to perform in the way that he performs, immediately takes over. Hey, Dante, shut it down, boy.
Shut it down.
Go on, sit down and listen. Go and hear these gems being dropped right here. Huh? But yeah, man. I mean, it's just been on ever since, he whipped my Pistons ass. I don't really know what else to say. Like I watched this man. I watched this man every single place he's been just make the impossible possible. Yeah. Like being from where he's from, and I'm from a place small, just like where he from, Flint, Michigan, born and raised, not expected to do shit in life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for him to come up like that, raised by a single mother, the biggest star in sports.
Yeah.
Still the face of the NBA at the age of he'll be 38 this year.
Wow.
So I mean, or 37, one of them. 37, 38, one of them. And just everything about this man is it's the most unrealistic shit ever. But the fact that it is, and he's a black man, and he has so much power, and he's changed the entire scope of how athletes can now sort of curate their own path. Like now they have control over how their career goes now. In the 90s, dudes would have never. They wouldn't have dared. First off, they wouldn't getting paid as much, but also they would have never had the balls to say, okay, we ain't winning here, so I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna bring, some powerhouses with me. Yeah. LeBron actually took that hit. He understood what leaving Cleveland and go to Miami meant. He understood who that would hurt and who that would piss off.
Right.
But that was his opportunity to learn how to win.
Right.
And that's the part people don't understand. This man didn't go to college. Miami was college.
Yeah. Damn. Listen, I'm a believer now. She didn't believe. If I wasn't before, I am now. But, just kind of on the real, I told you this earlier. I don't really watch NBA. I went to the University of Kansas during a time where we won the national championship when we had Mario Chalmers that hit the shot against Memphis.
In Miami Heat.
And then we also had the Orange Bowl. So our football team did win the Orange Bowl. Okay. So, I was just during a time where the sports happened to be very, very good. And that's when I was like most into sports. So, I really loved at the time the Boston Celtics because they had Paul Pierce, who's a Jayhawk. So I really gravitated more to people that I could aspire to be, being a first generation, college student, to see that like, wow, these people that I went to school with, I went to school with the Sharon Collins, with the Marcus and Marquis twins. Like they were in my class.
Oh, that's what's up. The Morris boys.
Well, we ain't gonna talk about them, but they was in my class.
They ballers.
Yeah, they're dope. But so basically, what I'm trying to say is that there's a certain level of commitment, that these athletes have to have, a certain level of understanding who they are and what they have to offer. And I feel like LeBron, if nothing else, like you said, was very smart and understood what he was doing in a time where a lot of athletes did it. They was being like this.
Yeah. Puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
basically slave.
That.
Yeah. Basically slaves. And, people talk about it, off and on. Like OGs, of course, don't appreciate it because they're like, oh, he's not loyal. He didn't stick with one team. He want to take the easy route. But there's a lot of respect for somebody who's actually in control of their entire path.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think he's opened the eyes of every other athlete because ever since he made that move to Miami, all you've been seeing are guys that are now awakened. Like they're like, oh, I didn't know we could do this.
Right.
So now that's what you see every single year, ever since then.
Yeah.
And some dudes do it a little bit on the disrespectful side. Some dudes do it with integrity.
Right.
Like I was talking to some of my guys yesterday. Beard, no. We were talking about how, KD is amazing. He's clearly on his way to being a Hall of Famer. But the way in which he switched teams and went to a super team is completely different than when LeBron did it. LeBron went and built something. He went to Miami. Miami wasn't winning. Miami, it had been since 2006 since Miami won a championship. So that wasn't him going to a winning situation.
Right.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade was keeping them afloat, but Dwayne Wade wasn't carrying them to nobody's finals.
Right.
Right. So he went to Miami and built something.
Mm.
KD went into an already established championship team. That's nothing alike.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing alike. So like I said, some dudes do it, you know, on a scale that makes sense, and they can actually build something and they can show their contribution.
Yeah.
Some guys just do take the easy route.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's where that debate truly comes from, because people feel like, okay, you're going to go to a team to make your path easier. Some dudes do that.
Yeah.
So
you said, and we still catch heat for it.
You know,
you right about that.
Oh, you know, TJ, she all about her light skin splash brothers.
Stop.
She love her light skin splash brothers.
Light skin splash. So kind of with all that being said, let's get into these sneakers. So I will be very honest and transparent. I don't own any LeBron sneakers. The only ones I've actually seen in hand were the I guess the Laker 7s. I don't know what the actual terminology are. Were they the Laker 7? Media Day 7s. Mm-hmm. And they weren't my size, so I sold them. Okay. So, you know, from somebody who is a big fan of LeBron and likely the brand, what would you say is like your favorite silhouette and or actual sneaker? So, for example, like we could talk about South Beach 8 and what all that represented and things like that.
Definitely South Beach 8 is my favorite. That's the shoe that dropped when he left to go to Miami. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that shoe means a lot. And, you know, for it to kind of represent what you think of when you think of Miami, because it has sort of that Miami Vice sort of colorway.
Totally.
So everything about it signifies that move. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's a shoe that when it dropped, everybody had to have it. Like the hype around that shoe was insane. I'm super happy that it re-released for those who didn't get a chance to get that original pair. And look, quite frankly, listen, I paid top dollar for that original pair and never actually got it. So, but that's a different conversation. Anyway,
another day.
So South Beach 8 is my favorite. South Beach 8 is my favorite LeBron in terms of just the overall colorway in the shoe. But the silhouette, my favorite silhouette, I would say probably my favorite silhouette is the LeBron 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I have an appreciation for that shoe in multiple colors in a way in which I don't with the other silhouettes. So
is that one silhouette that has lows?
Yes.
That has lows.
All of his shoes for the most part have lows. So they all have lows. But this particular pair, I don't know, what does it look? It's kind of similar to, if you want to compare it to a shoe, it's kind of similar to the Jordan 11.
Okay.
A little bit. It has a different build to it, but you can see like some semblance of the Jordan 11 on it.
Yeah, especially I think like the outsole, if I'm thinking about the right shoe.
Well, the upper, it has like those you know where the nylon part on the 11s are, where it has like those stripes on the side.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar to that.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, kind of where the eyelets are.
Yeah,
this is like reminds me of 11. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. So nice. That's my favorite LeBron silhouette.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So besides LeBron sneakers, what are some of your, and you talked about Adidas already and kind of shell toes and everything like that. I noticed you have the Michigan Dunks, things like that. What other sneakers do you have, just in a nutshell? You know, maybe name off some, you know, some brands and some silhouettes that you really rock with.
I mean, I'm really big on classics. Like you might see, what shoulder is this? It's my right shoulder. So you might you know, sometimes you see yourself like your reflection. You have to say, is this the left or the right? So my right shoulder right here. You see what my shoulder doing? Those boxes right there, literally, those Reebok boxes right there with the brown lids. So those are Iversons. Those are questions and answers right there. So just an example of just classics. So the shoe that's right next to my Michigan Dunk. Those are Barclays right there.
Okay.
Air Force S or CBs, CB94. So, Like that's what I like. Air Max up tempos.
Okay.
Obviously Air Force 180s.
Mm.
I have a
Girl, this girl, what? I feel like I'm that. You know, like
I
follow.
have a
Yeah.
Barkley Posit. This brown box, this old ass
Nice.
Nike box.
Yeah.
A Barkley Posit is in there. The eggplant colorway.
Oh, okay.
Um,
What's up?
you know, I mean, there's multiple things in there,
Girl,
but
I don't
it's
think I ever seen that side of the wall. Wait a minute.
but I keep it classic. Like Summit these are Summit Lake Hornet lows, like LeBron 9s right here. That's OG pair.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphin LeBron 10s right there.
Mm-hmm.
Them two pairs of Air Jordan 1s right there. Probably a UNC one, a bread one.
Well, shit, that's all you need. That's
Like
all
I
you
mean,
need for real, for real.
it's just yeah. So it's
And it's great.
I just my like I told you earlier. Like my collection is curated. Like
Yeah.
it's everything that I have now.
Mhm.
I can stand still in it. You know, I don't have anything now where I can easily just take it out and give it away, because that's what I used to do a lot of, giving away shoes, getting rid of shoes, streamlining.
Mhm.
Now I'm at a spot where every single thing you see back here, there's a couple things in front of me as well. It's what's here, and
Seasoned.
it's what's intentionally here. So
Mhm.
yeah,
That's what's up.
Yep.
And I feel like, you know, a lot of the silhouettes that you mentioned are kind of like, I don't want to say they're bulky, but they are. Like, I can't find another
they
word
are. I
for
mean, they are.
it.
They
Like,
are.
I have a big foot, so I wear a 10.5 in women's.
Mhm.
And so I kind of shied away from the bulkier sneakers just because I feel like they make my feet really big.
Yeah.
And I don't ball. So, you know, I think for somebody else, you know, that balls or is like into, you know, the sport, that more bulkier shoe is sometimes, you know, a shoe that I feel like they would rock casually, you know. So I would like to have a pair of up tempos. Every time I'm about to pull that trigger, I'm like, they're gonna make my feet look big.
They are definitely bulky shoes. Pretty much all Nike basketball shoe, or actually just basketball shoes from the 90s in general. Because I mean, even like those
The
Reeboks
Reeboks.
right there, like those are bulky too. I don't know if you remember. Like all of that stuff is bulky, but it's like it's a time and a place where it just reminds me of like everything that attracted me to sneakers, like
Right.
sports and hip hop.
Yeah.
Like some of my favorite rappers from the 90s used to wear some of those shoes. Some of my favorite athletes from the 90s used to, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, totally.
all of those things represent a time when, you know, I fell in love with shoes for real. So as a kid, and not being able to actually have any of them, but literally just watching them on other folks' feet.
Right. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So I want to shift gears a little bit. I have something fun that I'm going to do after this question, but you know, there, as you can see, there's a handful of ladies on here. There's obviously the men. Thank you all for supporting the channel and Pop the Culture. You know, and there are these ladies have some very impressive collections. They probably would consider themselves sneakerhead, sneaker lover, sneaker collector, whatever you want to call them. And I always try to encourage people to, if they wanted to do a YouTube channel, to just do it, kind of like you said earlier.
Yeah.
But I guess, what would you say to the ladies that are either currently watching this or will watch this later on, that are kind of in that kind of space where, should I start a channel? Should I not? Maybe they're apprehensive. What would you say to them? How would you kind of motivate and encourage them to do that?
Well, it's definitely a just do it type of deal. Like, no pun intended. Like, it doesn't matter what minimal amount of equipment you have, you know, just start it. Like I told you guys earlier, you know, I started with my cell phone and a GoPro. Like every single thing I was doing was on minimal amount of equipment. And I was still able to get a really great reach, like right out of the gate, just because I went ahead and started it. And I also kind of understand the culture of how to appeal or be appealing. And I don't mean like be cute, but I mean understand that sometimes people do want to see the flavor of the week. Like I was very strategic about what shoe I did my first video with. So that's why it was the bread one, because at that time that was the shoe everybody wanted.
Yeah.
So I got probably my first 500 subs off that shoe alone. You know what I'm saying? But that was in an era where something like that type of effect and that quick growth like that would happen.
Yeah.
Now it's like it's way harder. It's way harder, but the mathematics is still the same. It's simple equation. So you have to kind of know also why you want to do YouTube. You know, is it just because you want people to see what you have?
Yeah.
Because if it's about that, then you're gonna be short lived. You know, at this point, like we talked about earlier, I've been doing this for 5 years now. I've seen people come and go all the time, come and go, because they realize quickly how hard doing YouTube is. And also, if you're trying to just show people what you have, you're gonna get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm just spending all of this damn money, and now I'm just sucked dry now.
Right.
And for what?
Right.
And so people, again, it's short lived. It's short lived. So if you're expecting some sort of instant rise, I guess you could say, from YouTube, definitely stay away. If you're expecting to just have fun by showing what you have, and some people are showy people. So if that works for you, then hey, do you.
Yeah.
But there's gonna come a point when you do this long enough where you're gonna want to have to do something else alongside that.
Yeah.
So if that is like with what you're doing, you started to do kind of the lookbook style of YouTube, the fashion component to it. So that was something that you decided, hey, I don't want to have to just buy a shoe every single week.
Right.
I want to buy a shoe and then show you different outfits you could wear with it and let that be a part of my content. So you were able to understand how you could turn the page without sucking yourself dry by trying to have the flavor of the week every single weekend, because there's a new release every week.
And
same with
TJ. I can't even get all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Same with TJ. She does very well with picking up a piece of merch or a shoe, and she's able to repurpose it for multiple types of content. Right. She's found a way to get the most out of that one thing. Right. Anybody that's been following her long enough, like when the Bread 11 dropped, TJ, how many videos did you drop about that Bread 11?
10, 15, and I watched all of them because they was dope.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's like,
content.
Right. So you get to a point and after doing this for a while where you realize, okay, you know, I probably want to do something more than just show them this shoe. You know, I need to create something that's my own with this. We're all showing the same shoe, but we're all different. How are we doing something in our own way with this? Right.
Yeah.
So when you ladies decide you want to start a channel, you got to decide what that means for you. Because again, they've come and they've gone.
Yeah. And I think one thing for me too, like I got my name K Fresh in high school because not high school, sorry, college. And one of the reasons why I was given that name is because not only, you know, was my shoes fresh, but I always would just dress like they would call me K Fresh, like thank you, always fresh. And so that's kind of what I wanted to bring to my channel as well. And I know like not everybody's gonna like my style, and I'm also a plus size woman. There's not very many YouTubers out there that are plus size and like doing sneakers. You know, it's harder, but it's worth it because I'm bringing my true self into the space. I'm not creating a facade, you know, just because I know that possibly how the style can get, you know, the views. If it happens to do well, it happens to do well. And hell, half of my videos that do well is out of my frustration saying, let me help y'all understand this sizing, because it was a beast me trying to understand this sizing. Let me make sure you don't make the same mistake I do when you are buying something, you know, a product. And so I think that you also have to really go into it saying, what is it that someone is going to gain, you know, from the channel? Everybody who secures a Jordan, the people that are watching are probably the ones that didn't secure it and can't secure it at this point because they can't pay the resale, and maybe they just don't even have the money anyway. So it becomes just like stale to me.
For sure.
So I've always tried to incorporate in some of my videos that I've done a lot better than the Jordan videos, because it's like I'm showing y'all the Samoa that I got for $40 at the Nike outlet,
Yep.
Go get you a pair. It's back to school, and that video will shoot up because everybody's looking for back to school shoes that are cheap, for their kids.
Yep.
So it's like I'm trying to bring something I think is more relatable to my channel than always Jordans. I love my Jordans. I'm gonna still rock with them, but I'm gonna bring a little bit of my own flavor and personality to my channel. So
and that's kind of what
helped me.
Yep, and that's literally what I was saying. So, and that's important to identify kind of who you are. What would be genuine content from you? And when I say you, I mean whatever lady out there that's looking to start a channel. Also, are you creating content that's timeless? Do you have videos that even 5 years later people are still commenting on?
Yeah,
because it's still relevant now.
Right.
So think about that type of content as well. Like you have your videos that are buffer videos. I consider my pickup videos buffer videos. And then everything in between that's kind of like produced content.
Yeah.
That's like the content.
Right.
That's like the core content. Like that's the direction more on the side of what I'm trying to turn to. And it's really tough when you've established a following because people are so used to one way of doing stuff. So when you change it up, you got to be prepared for the engagement to not be exactly on par with what you want at that moment.
Yeah.
But if you stay the course, the people that want to find that type of content are going to engage.
Right.
It never fails. So
yeah. All right. So thank you for that. I want to do something fun. It's going to be quick, but I love this or that. Have you ever played this or that?
Yeah, I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay. So it's either, this or that is where you have to select. It's like, what's another name for it? Like it's almost like a truth or dare, but it's this or that. You have to select this or that. And I don't know, I always like to do this because I just think it's fun and people can kind of engage in the comment section. So I came up with some this or that is the LeBron edition. And I figured you would have some thoughts. So feel free to like think about it and kind of like maybe give your reasoning, and then chat, please make sure to engage as well. So this is an example that I'll give you before we get into like the LeBron part. So like it's like cat or dog. Okay. So it's like, oh, I'm a dog person. I've always grown up around dogs. Like cats are ornery, whatever, your own little understanding. So the first one is Cleveland or Miami.
Dang, you came out with a banger.
Came swinging.
Oh, I'm gonna go Cleveland because it's more meaningful.
This is where we guys start.
Well, it's also where he came back full circle.
That's true.
When he came back from college in Miami.
True. That's true. Okay. LeBron 7s or LeBron 8s?
Ooh. Dang. Why you doing this?
I love this or that. I love it.
I'm gonna say 7s because various colorways work for it.
Yeah. And I didn't even say my this or that for Cleveland. I was gonna pick Miami because Miami to me is more just about the players that was on the team. So like the Mario Chalmers and Wayne Simeon, which I actually grew up in the same city that Wayne grew up in, very, very small city. Yeah. His parents actually used to work with my grandmother. Okay. So that's just like the look. No, that's why I would pick Miami.
However many degrees of separation.
Right.
What is it called?
The 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
We got a couple people saying 8s, 7s. I personally like the 7 silhouette. I think for me, it's more wearable.
For sure.
The 8s kind of got that ankle. I have like more of a wide ankle. It's a performance shoe. I get it. But, for me aesthetically, I feel like the 7 would like work better for my feet.
Oh, shit. Both them things tight for me. So, ew.
Ain't gonna be
go a half size up no matter what, y'all. Shit.
Okay, that's good to know. Because I would never know that. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about like old versus new. and I want to say LeBron 1 or LeBron 18. Isn't it 18? They got 18, right?
Oh yeah, 18.
Okay, I was like, whew.
I just had to remember what was the initial question. We can go with 1. We can go with the Zoom generation.
Okay.
Because I mean that's the beginning of everything. You got the first game colorway with the 25, 5, and 5 game. You got the Rooks Night. What was it called? The Rooks, the Crowns Rooks, or whatever the black and red one is. But yeah, the first one for sure. And also it was modeled after, I guess, the Hummer he had in high school. So that was the first. And the 18s, I genuinely do not like the 18s. I've been struggling to find an 18 that I like.
Really?
So yeah, the 18
you didn't
lows.
Like the Toon Squads at all?
The 18 lows I love.
Okay.
But the 18s I do not love. So okay. I'm really heavy on the 18 lows for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I actually in terms of like the 18s, I would be the opposite. For me, I just feel like the way in which now granted, let me say this with a grain of salt, I had no idea about the ones. Like back in the day, like I was not into the LeBrons at all. I could barely even remember what they looked like.
Shit, who you telling? I done told you my story. Hell.
So
I wouldn't have dared bought a fucking LeBron back in 03. You understand?
Right. So I'm like, but see, to me, the 18s, I've appreciated what they've done with them. They've kind of appealed, in my opinion, to the more younger LeBron fans with the different colorways, you know, obviously with the own Space Jam, you know, the legacy Space Jam. And I think that what they've done, you know, has been decent, I will say. For
sure. Yeah.
What's up, Kicks?
V, what's up? Yeah, man, I think they have maintained doing like really solid concepts for his shoes. You know, even though some folks have kind of fallen out of love with them, I feel like people started to lose their interest probably. Yeah, I would give it up to the 10s. Slightly toward the 11s, because there's a lot of folks that fell off by the time the 11s came through as well. So but Nike has still done very well with making sure like each model of his is fairly different from the other. Probably the last 3, they've kind of made hybrids of previous models to kind of remind you of maybe what the previous ones look like, and it has a newer model that models the old model, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
But yeah, you know, it's they've done very well, Nike, I think, with innovating with his shoes and doing well with just the concepts. The Kith releases are really always pretty solid. You know, like they always do something pretty cool for them. It's just a matter of people care enough in the moment. I think with LeBron's, people lose the care in the moment, but they're going to regret it, because I'm telling you now, 10, 15, 20 years, a lot of this shit y'all let pass you. You're going to be looking back like, damn, I had a chance. Had the chance to get them for under retail, at retail, whatever the case.
Yeah.
So
that's what's up. All right. Thanks for that. Now we're going to talk teams again. So Cleveland or Lakers, where he's currently at.
I'm always going to go back to Cleveland. Because again, it just means more. It meant more when he won, when he went back to Cleveland. Because first off, he got a chance to spit in Dan Gilbert's face.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He got a chance to get a middle finger to the people that burned his jersey just because they didn't do what they felt was the right thing to do.
Right.
He came back and he won for the people that gave a damn. He won for his city. And he bounced. He like, look, Cleveland, I'm back. He won a championship. Cleveland, this is for you. Year later, Cleveland, I'll see y'all later. I'm out to Hollywood. I did what I came to do, baby.
Right, exactly. He said, I will be too old to wear my short sets in bronze and not your short set, the little linen set.
Your short sets. E-Money got the short sets ready and on deck now. E-Money, listen, I can't speak to, you know, listen, you should have hopped on a little bit earlier. Right. You know, I can't listen. I'm a 90s kid, so I got plenty more time to go ahead and enjoy.
Right.
But I, do you? If you wanna rock your short sets when you 75 with your bronze, do you?
Right. Okay. Back to a shoe. I really did the same kind of categories, but MVP 7 or South Beach 8.
I'm not a fan of the MVP 7, so
What?
South Beach 8 all day. I don't like that quilted look. Like, what's that about?
I loved that. I didn't buy it, but I liked it. Maybe because again, I clearly look at a shoe differently than you do, especially
sure.
LeBron, just because of like the historical perspective. I will be transparent and say I know, but I don't think about it like, oh, it's the South Beach 8 and this is when he went over to Miami. Like, I know it, but I'd be like, oh, the materials or the silhouette. Like, I find a different reason to like it. But that makes sense. That it is different. And it kind of actually reminds me that quilted look of like the Alma Manier, but people tend to really love that one.
It looks exactly like something that Alma Manier would have used for sure. Yeah. And I wasn't a fan of that 3. So I kept the same energy. I get the message and all of that. That's fantastic. That don't mean shit to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Do you have any 3s?
It looks great.
Personally?
Yes, I do. I keep it classic. True Blue 3s, Black Cement 3s. Okay. I did get the Katrina 3s. What are the 3s I have? I think that might be it.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, I keep Jordans pretty too. I try to keep those to a minimum. I'm not a Jordan head, so it's an easy move for me.
Yeah. Right. Okay, last one. And this, I probably already know the answer to this, but it's my last one. Lakers or Miami? See, maybe I don't know the answer to this. Man. I thought this was gonna be.
I want to say his best years. If we talking about being at the pinnacle of basketball and undoubtedly the best player in the world, and you can't debate it, was in Miami.
I would agree with that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking that you would say.
Yeah, there was no player better than LeBron when he was Miami. Period. In no category, and I don't care what the numbers say. There was no player better than LeBron in Miami.
That's what's up. Well, that is all I have for the this or that. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope y'all enjoyed that in the chat.
Fun. It's called, what was it called? This or that?
This or that.
All right.
This or that. Okay, so just a couple of quick things. Like, do you have any upcoming releases on your radar for sneakers? I know this week is gonna be heavy for a lot of different reasons, but
I'm still finishing my Space Jam pack, so that's almost done.
Nice.
What else is coming?
What do you still need in that Space Jam pack?
I put a hit list together recently. Let me see if anything is current.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my stuff. The Moabs, I definitely want the Birch and the Gravity Purple. Nice. That's OG right there.
That's what's up.
I definitely need to get the CB94s. Those are more Barclays.
Which colorway?
The Cool Gray and the Olympic. The Olympic just dropped. The Cool Gray, I didn't get a date on that one. Believe it or not, I like Damian Lillard's the Dame 7 Dame Gnosis. I don't know if Adidas has actually released those yet or not, but they look dope. They're basically like paying homage to the Shaq Gnosis.
Okay.
But with the Dame 7 model. So really dope. And I know all of these are like pairs that nobody else cares about. So that's why, it's like,
rock what you
probably
like.
not gonna get engagement on that. But
in
terms of the Jordans, I know folks like your little Jordans and whatnot.
Right, so. Your little funky Jordans.
Those Charlotte Hornet 13s, I thought looked pretty good because of they got that navy blue look. I feel like it's more navy blue than it is purple. So I do like navy blue pairs of shoes. Okay. So I think those are dope. And I'm hoping that the Space Jam 19 drops any day now.
Those are fire.
I need that.
Would you hoop in those, or is that like just a shoe you
I
want in
have
your
no
collection?
plans on wearing that shoe at all. Nope, not being worn.
Nice.
That's literally a collector's item for me.
Yeah,
So
those are dope. Those are
yeah,
dope. And I mean, even when in the movie, when he's wearing them with the jersey and everything, I'm like, this is fresh. Like, if nothing else, it's fresh.
absolutely.
It's
Yep. How it
fresh.
went with the Toon Squad
Yes, it was
jersey. Yeah, it was
gorgeous.
dope.
Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have like any pickups, any W's, any reach backs that you've picked up lately?
All the time, but right now I'm just focused on completing my Space Jam pack. The last pair is on the way.
Nice.
So I'm actually technically I have completed it, but it's not that last pair is not in my possession just yet. So
Right.
I can't count it as my own until I'm touching it. I paid for it
Yeah.
already, but it needs to be my fingertips need to touch the texture.
Right. That's the best part. That's the best part.
For sure.
Well, I only have a couple, so I've been buying what you would call regular people shoes. So
Okay.
I actually bought a pair of Vapor Max Plus. They're in the bubblegum pink.
Yeah.
So I love these. I love the Vapor Max Plus colorways. So I had to grab them. They restocked today.
Mhm.
I love Air Force Ones. I was actually living in St. Louis when Nelly got big, and Air Force Ones,
Listen, Air Force Ones in the Midwest is a thing anyway. So
yes. So I actually, I would say completed the pack. I did not get the 95s because I was not interested in getting the 95s. So I did get the pineapple. Nothing's in hand, but I got the pineapple.
I like those actually. I like those. Yeah.
These are fresh. Oh,
Yeah, my size is gone, but yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
And then I actually, because I don't have them on hand, but I got. Well, you can't even see them because they sold out. But I got the Air Jordan 1 Lows, the white and obsidian.
Okay.
I got these for my husband. He likes
them dope.
Because we're going to Vegas.
I don't do the 1 Lows.
Yeah.
That's not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
But they cool. They cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Nice
honestly, they're like one of those shoes. I love them for the summer,
Yeah,
easy,
perfect summer shoe.
on. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
the perfect summer shoe.
All right, well, that is everything. I appreciate you for obviously taking the time to be here. I know you could have been anywhere but you're here.
No, I appreciate you having me. What you mean?
It's been amazing. And, everybody in the chat, I do appreciate you all coming each and every week to Pop the Culture. There's been a lot that I've learned about, really just other people as well as just overseeing a live. Like, this takes a lot. We talked about this earlier, like doing these episodes, doing YouTube videos, like this stuff takes a lot. And
yeah.
I know I do it because I want to do it. It's not like I'm a slave, to YouTube and things like that. Because people really get, once you get to a certain level and you no longer you fall kind of out of love of it because people just want the video every single day.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people behind the scenes that like it's mentally draining because that you have to get your 12 days of Christmas out and you gotta, all these different vlogs. Like I know people who like had bigger channels and it's like it can get very depressing if you let it. So
but those people do YouTube full time, so they don't have no excuses. So they can do a video every day and for any topic because they ain't gotta go to their full-time job and then do YouTube when they get home. Like
that's true. That is very true.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's definitely a journey. It's definitely not easy, but as long as you remember, why you started your channel and continue to be your genuine self, because that's one thing. Too, I think I did mention when you said, any advice or whatever to people wanting to start a channel. As your channel starts to grow, you should definitely make sure it's about a subject matter that matters to you. Because if you don't, and you fuck around and get 100,000 subscribers off some shit that you don't care about, you're gonna have to keep that going.
Hello.
You have to keep that going. So I would suggest
don't do no mukbang if you don't like eating in front of people.
Exactly. I would suggest you make sure that it's something that you can keep the charades up. Okay? Because if you can't keep up the charade, my guy, You done trapped yourself.
Seriously. Yeah, that's the worst thing you could do.
Straight up.
It's crazy. But yeah, so like I said, thank you so much. I'm not going to release the next person. I do need to be confirming with her, but I'm very excited to bring another episode next Monday, 7:30 CST. If you like this actual live and have not seen any of the other ones, if you just go to my channel, you click like on my past videos and my lives, you should see everybody on there. Please make sure to go and support those. Just asking you just genuinely because I really love the conversations that I have with people, and I meet a lot of people that I then consider my friends. You know, like we cool, you know, we talk a little bit, you know, DM every once in a while on Instagram, things like that. But
it's truly gonna be even better when you meet people in person, isn't it? Yeah. See, there's gonna be even better. See, that's a part of it that a lot of folks ignore. Like before the pandemic, there was a time when we saw each other in person.
Yeah.
Okay. And at events and things of that nature. So we're not just on, YouTube and only doing these little Zooms and StreamYards and all these little digital things. Like we actually meet up with each other, hang out with each other, break bread with each other, and truly connect. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
get a chance to meet you. Yeah.
Me too. Well, thanks so much for everybody. Real with real, sneaker vibes only, beer, fresh culture, e-money, hot dog, everybody in the building. So I am going to end this live, but until next time, you all already know what to do. Stay fresh.